Guys, first thing I want to suggest to you when you get on the rig, when you power on the rig, the very first thing you're probably going to notice is that your LAFD 800 zone everything's going to be active and you're going to be scanning everything. We've got 3 different decks, UHF, VHF, and the 800 deck. If we're not running with LAFD and you don't want to hear LAFD traffic or anything on the VHF channel for that matter, first thing you're going to want to do is get in the rig and then hold the 800 deck down for about a second and a half, and it will mute that deck until you turn off the rig and fire it back up again. Same thing with the VHF. You're going to hold it down for a second and a half. That deck is now muted. Right now you've only got your UHF deck, which in this case is red 1. That's the only thing on. If you're running with LAFD, you do want to hear them. So you're going to hold that down and you're going to unmute that. Right now it's only the VHF deck that's muted. So to mute it, hold it down. To take it off, hold it down again. Right now they're all unmuted. If you want to mute all 3 decks for whatever reason, it's this button right here. That just is going to mute everything. One of the most important things about this Kenwood tri-deck radio is being able to control the volume on the speakers that are coming out of it. You've got 4 speakers for every one of these tri-deck radios. You've got the selected deck, which is whatever one is highlighted. Right now it's the UHF, now it's the VHF, now it's the 800. Whatever is selected is going to be your primary deck, and that's going to be controlled with your volume knob. So whatever is going to be in your primary selected speaker, that's going to be controlled with your volume knob. Right now I'm controlling the UHF deck. And right now, it's going to be controlling the VHF deck. So it's only whatever one you're controlling, whenever you're highlighted, is controlled by your volume knob. If you want to control your other decks, like in this case LAFD is talking on TAC 4, and you want them lower, you're going to select the deck. You've got the 1 dot and 2 dot buttons right here. You're going to hit this until the offset is where you want it. 0 is baseline, and you can go all the way to minus 90 to make it almost quiet. And so if you want them on, but you don't want them muted, you set them at whatever you want, unselect them, and now they're going to be at the volume that you set it at. If you want them to be super loud because you're rolling with LAFD, select the deck, go up into a sufficient volume, and now go back to your primary deck. When you transmit, you're going to be transmitting here in UHF. Now you're transmitting on LAFD. Same thing with VHF. Hit the VHF, control your deck offset, either up or down, unselect it, and that's going to be where your unselected speaker is going to be at that point. I just made them a lot quieter while they were talking. Pretty easy. Hopefully that was clear. To set up a scan list in the Vikings, you're going to want to go in to each individual deck, and you can set up your own scan list for each one. So for UHF, if I want to set up to scan red 2, red 3, and red 15, here's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit scan edit. I'm going to hit the O button to confirm, and I'm going to go red 1 looks like it's scanning because there's an S. So I'm going to click the left and right toggle until I get to an X. I'm going to go up to red 2, that's scanning. So I'm going to go up to red 3, that's scanning. Red 4, I don't want that. I'm going to scan over till it's a X. Red 5 is already an X. Keep going. Red 15, I want to scan that one. And that's it. So you're going to confirm that by hitting the O button, and then I'm going to exit. Okay, so for the scanning, I've already set up my scan list in the UHF deck for red 2, red 3, and red 15. And I'm going to go to the VHF deck, and I'm going to do the same thing. If I want to hit scan edit, I'm going to hit the O button to confirm, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set up whatever channels I want in here. I'm going to do VFire 22. I want to scan that one. I'm going to go up. I'm going to do VFire 24. I'm going to scan that one, and I'm going to hit the O button, and I'm going to hit exit. So right now, I'm not scanning either one of these until I hit this button right here, scan. Scan on now is on the VHF. Up on the UHF, I'm going to hit scan. Now scan on is on the UHF and the VHF. So you can tell with this over here, you've got the little scan icon. If I go down to my 800, I'm not scanning down there, and you can see the scan icons on both the UHF deck and the VHF deck. For the mobile Kenwood Tri-Band, if we're going to be rolling with LA County Fire in their jurisdiction, we now have a dedicated LA County structure zone. So they utilize both UHF channels and VHF channels in their comm plans, and it's typical for us to get dispatched on a blue channel, and then if it's a working incident, they're going to transition over to their command channels, which is usually a U channel, such as U15, and they'll also utilize tactical channels in the VHF channels, like V11 direct. So in this case, we're dispatched, we're going to want to go to blue 5. We're going to use this zone toggle right here, and we're going to zone up to the LA County structure zone. Then we're going to want to go over to blue 5, and you can either use the direction pad here to go to blue 5, and then if you keep going, you can find the U channels here. So you see U15, and at that point, you can find your channels on both the blue and the U. You're not going to find V11 direct until you get to the VHF deck. So down here, you're going to want to get VHF. It starts off from the foothill plan. Use the zone toggle to go up. You're going to see LA County structure, and then you can either use the keypad to go to V11 direct, or you can use the channel knob to change your channels to get that LA County structure zone. So when county dispatches, they size up on the blue. If it's a working incident, it goes to a U for command, and then the tactical channels will be in the VHF deck. Mutual threat zone incident where we're using an MTZ plan, such as the foothill plan, that's going to be found in the VHF deck. The home programming for this is, for the VHF deck, is the foothill plan, and LACV3 is just what it defaults to. If we are using a channel like ANF, where that is a channel that could be used for different agencies based on what we're working with, we would need to set the proper tone based on the comm plan. The tones will program this channel to grab individual repeaters based on the proximity to the location that we're working in. So in this case, ANF, if that's the channel, you will be told what tone we're going to be operating under. So to do that, you're going to hit the square button over here. You're going to figure out what tone you're operating under. Say it's tone 11. You're going to grab tone 11. You're going to hit the O button to confirm. And right now, you are going to be working under you can see the little 114.8. That is the tone under ANF that you want to be working on. Certain channels, They could be used in either direct mode or repeated mode. If you have one of these channels and you must operate under one or the other, such as in Red 11, Red 11 can be used in both repeated or direct mode. You're going to see when you get to those channels, there's a soft key down here that will be direct. So you're going to press that. It'll tell you that you're now direct, or you can disable and put that function off. So if you have one of those channels, you're going to have that ability down in the soft key area. To get that soft key, you'd hit the left or right arrow, and it'll bring up that soft key to either go direct or repeated. This is our new APX 8000 portable radio. It's in every captain position, engineer position on all the frontline rigs. We've also got another APX 7000 as the secondary radio for all the captains. So right now there's two of these APX 8000s on every rig. It's got all three bands. You've got UHF, VHF, and the 800 megahertz. So a few things that we want to identify is where to find some of these zones. All right, so one of the big changes is the zones in here is you've got an LA County structure zone just below the foothill plan. So you're going to go into the LA County structure zone, and if you're going to select that, you're going to be in here, and you're going to see you got your blue channels, your U channels, and your V channels. They're all in one place. Unlike on the Viking, where you've got to go to the VHF deck, in this portable radio, they're all in there on this LA County structure zone. Okay, so to get to the LA County structure zone, you can either hit the zone and then scroll down right past the foothill plan, or you could zone up past the foothill plan and find the LA County structure zone there, or you could use the C toggle up here and go to past the foothill plan and then into the LA County structure zone there. One thing you want to be aware of is in the LA County structure zone, there is one trunked channel in this zone, which is red 1. So if you're starting off on red 1, you won't be able to set up a scan list within here and scan the blue, U, and V channels. So make sure you switch out of that, go to a blue channel, and then scroll over to your scan list. Your edit scan right now, you want to say you want to do blue 5, you can select or unselect. You go down to U14 and you could select or not select, and then you can go down to V11 direct and you can select or unselect. And then that little dot, remember, is the primary scan button. So just remember that you can't be on a red channel to start off, otherwise these will bonk. Once you select the channels that you want for your scan list, you're going to go ahead and hit the home button, and now you're going to hit the scan, and you're going to be scanning the proper channels that you just set up. Another change on the APX programming is where the Glendale PD channels are going to be located. It used to be Cops and County were in the C toggle. That's no longer the case. Only LA County structure zone is in the C toggle. So to find the GPD, you're going to hit your scan or your zones, scroll down to the H5 zone right there, which is the 5th zone, and select. GPD primary will be up, and you also have a number of other channels that we didn't have before, because these radios now accept encrypted transmissions. Okay, for the next zone that you'll want to know for this tri-band radio is how to get to the LAFD zone. So for this, instead of scrolling down to get to your foothill plan, your LA County structure, base hospital, and then GPD, instead of hitting down, you're going to hit zone, you're going to scroll up, and you're going to go past the dynamic zone, the Verdugo RIC zone, your revision, and now you've got your LAFD channels here. So you've got LAFD TAC 1 and 4 through 16, 17, 18, and alert 6. So all these are going to be in here. If you need for some reason to get LAFD TAC 2, you would need to go up to the next LAFD 2 zone. That's where LAFD TAC 2 is, and then you're going to go 4 through 18 again. LAFD TAC 3 is going to be in LAFD 3 zone, and those are all based on regions within where LAFD you are. Okay, for the mutual threat zone, if we are going to go to the foothill plan, you could either hit the zone, go to the foothill plan, or you could use the B toggle to get to the foothill plan. If for some reason you need to use the ANF channel, just like we mentioned in the Viking, you're going to need to set the right tone based on the repeater that we're operating in due to the proximity of the incident. So you're going to use your direction pad to bring up MPL. That is the term that Motorola uses for tones. Hit MPL. You're going to scroll down to the appropriate tone. If it was tone 11, you'd hit tone 11 and you'll hit select. And now you know you're in ANF tone 11 only if you hit that MPL to see which one you're in. But you'll need to do that if you're operating in a channel like ANF, that you must choose a tone. Okay, a real brief reminder on the dynamic zone. So if you want to set up a dynamic zone, you can set up a whole bunch of different channels in there based on the incident that you're working. And remember, you can use any channels you want, but you're not going to be able to scan across conventional and trunked at the same time. So just keep that in mind. So to get into your dynamic zone, hit zone, go up 1. You're going to select. If you have no channels in there, it's going to bonk just like it's bonking now. So you're going to hit zone program. You're going to see all your blank channels. So I want to edit this channel. And in this case, I'm going to put 4 channels in here. I'm going to put in GPD TAC 2, and I'm going to use either the list selection or the channel name. For me, I'm going to use the list selection for these. Just to find GPD TAC 2, I'm going to go down to GPD. I'm going to hit TAC 2. I'm going to hit select. So now GPD TAC 2 is my first position in that dynamic zone. My second channel is going to be V11 direct. I'm going to use that on the list selection. I know V11 direct is going to be in several different places on this radio, but let's use it here in the LA County structure zone. V11 direct. Channel updated. Okay, for the next channel, we're going to use Red 11. It's a conventional channel. I'm going to use a search through channel name this time. So I'm going to hit select. You've got alpha numerics, so you can change up here. This is the numbers. I'm going to start hit by the pound sign, and I'm going to go into red. R-E-D. And then I'm going to hit a dash. And I'm going to go back to my numerics with the pound sign. and red 11, I'm going to search that. And now red 11 is our next channel. And then finally we're going to do, for the fourth channel, we're going to do LAFD TAC 4. So I'm going to edit that. I'm going to go by the list. I'm going to scroll up to LAFD. I'm going to select, go down to TAC 4, select. Now I've got LAFD TAC 4. These are my 4 channels. I can put a whole bunch more in there if I want to. And then I can go in here and scan edit these two and just do edit the scan of which one of these channels is in there by either selecting or not selecting it. Hey, finally for the APX 7000 radios, these got a new programming code plug, and they mirror the 8000 radios identically, except for the fact that there's no 800 zone, 800 megahertz zone. So you're still going to get the same thing. You're going to get the foothill plan, LA County structure. Your COPS GPD channels are down in zone 5. And if you scroll up, you're still going to get the dynamic zone, the Verdugo RIC, your revision, and you'll see here that you've got law zone, but no LAFD zones. So everything else is going to be the same in here, and just as the 8000 radios, just with the exception of no LAFD. Hey, one final thing I want to introduce everybody to is the way to get access into the channel list. The best way to do that is through la-ticp.com, and that is an online reference site that has all of our channels built into it. We also have red books that we put on the rigs that have our TICP channel list for the 8000s. We will eventually get these for the Vikings also, but if you go to this website, la-ticp.com, and go home zones by city, it'll bring up several cities that are participating in putting their channel lists on here, and Glendale is here at the bottom. It's going to bring up, this is a PDF document that we're going to try to load into the iPads for offline use. I should be able to use this as a searchable tool anytime you don't have internet connection. But this right here, if you click this bottom one down here, the APX 8000 and 7000 channel list, it's going to bring up all of our channels that are in here and where they're kept. So in this case, say you want to do a search, you're looking for U16, U-16. It's going to bring up those LAC channels. You're going to see in this case, you're going to find LAC U16 in zone 3, in zone 9, and in zone 32. And here's the channel lists within those zones. If you want to bring up a GPD TAC, you're not sure where those are, it'll tell you, hey, these are all in zone 5, and here's all the GPD TACs. If you want a NIFC channel, you're going to see them all here in all these different zones, what TAC they are, and you can see the NIFC channels are in quite a few different areas. So hopefully that helps. I hope you guys find the channels that you need. And like I said, the offline version will also be available, but this la-ticp.com should be able to give you a searchable way to find any channel you need if you do have internet service.